Okay, Spartans, I'm going to show you how you can use the Gale Biography database for this project. So let's go ahead and get started and see how you can access that. So I am on my ClassLink homepage right here, and then I'm going to open the library resources folder. Everybody has one of those. And then you have lots of databases here. You're going to look for the Gale Biography and Context. So go ahead and click on that, and it should log you in immediately to the main page. So one of the first things that I like to recommend to anyone using a database that gives you this option up here to sign in with Google is to go ahead and click on that and sign in. It'll just connect your account to this database. So it's going to connect to your school account. And then anything that I find on here or that you find, you can automatically send to your drive. It will create a folder for you. It will keep all of those files that you find in that folder, and then you can go back to them easily and find them later if you want to use them later. And so I really like using that option. I just like to point that out anytime you have that opportunity. So here you have the main page. They always have some featured people here. You can scroll through those if you want to. It's usually people who are in the news right now. And then you can browse down below the different categories. So you may see the person that you're looking for. You can also browse them all. But if you know the person that you're researching, you can just go ahead and put in your search up here. So I just chose Upton Sinclair. And so I started typing it in, and I like to point out that it does give you suggestions for possible searches. And so if you're not sure who your person is, it might come up. So there's a Simon there, but that's not who I want. I want Upton Sinclair. So I'm going to click on that, and it's going to take me to the page about our friend Upton. So right now it's just showing me here is a picture, also known as this, so that can be helpful. And then I click on that link, and it's going to take me to the page with all of the information about my person. So at the top, you'll see it's showing all of the different types of resources available on this particular database about this person that I'm researching. I know I need to find out a little bit about him biographically, but that my report, the assignment that you're doing, requires you to talk a little bit more about things like what did they want to change, why, and how were they going to do that. And you have to be that person. So you need to get a little bit more information than just where they were born, etc. But it's useful to know some of that. So the first thing I'm going to do is just take a look at the different types, and I can see here I can go to the biography if I want to do that. I can click on that immediately. And then I just also want to point out over here, there are some filter options. I like to make sure that I have full text documents always, so that I'm not just getting a summary of something, I'm getting the whole thing. And then I also like to take a look at, depending on my research, I might check this peer-reviewed journal just because I want to see stuff that's been looked at by experts in the field and they say, yeah, this is really good information. I'm not going to check those other ones right now. So sometimes that will reduce the number of resources available to you because you're saying, I want the full text. And sometimes there aren't full text for all of those. So then I'm going to scroll down here. There's a lot of biographical articles here about our friend Upton. And so I can look through that. I can see all of them if I want to. I can go to the reference. Reference I sometimes like just to get a more in-depth possibly. And so I can take a look at this one. I like this. It says it's from the Encyclopedia of U.S. Economic History, so that might be helpful to me for this project. Information about some of his work. I know that The Jungle is a novel that he wrote that was really well known and has a lot to do with some of the reforms that he was specifically interested in making happen. And actually, because of that book and his work, some of that did happen. And then some additional information down here. I can look at magazines, audio, stuff that might be useful to you as well. So you can scroll through and see what you find about your person if they're in this database, which most should be. It even gives a website here, which is nice. I don't have to go out and Google Upton Sinclair. That would give me millions of results that I don't know if I could trust or not. I would have to do some very careful looking at those before I could decide to use them. So I like that this gives you at least one website that you can go to. And then if I go to any of these articles, so say I want to go to, I'm just going to go to a biographical one, showing you just some of the features that are available. You can get the citation, which you need to have for any article that you choose, whether it's in a database or not. You need to have the citation in the Modern Language Association format, or MLA. You can get that by clicking here. You can send it to yourself or to your drive with this little button right here. You can also make highlights and notes in these articles. That's one of the things I like about this database, is that you don't have to print it in order to make notes on the document. And then you can save those and send it to your drive when you're finished taking notes. You can also change the language. You can change the font size. You can listen to the article read to you. And again, here you can send it to your drive, email it to yourself. So see that as well. Quick little information here. Also, just keep in mind that you can use the Control F feature. So if you hit Control F, it might be a little bit different on a Chromebook, but I think it should work. And then you can type in any word that you're looking for on that page and it will show up for you. So if I'm looking for reform, it only shows one. If I'm looking for, let's see, food, I can find that. So you can do a search for any particular word. So if there's something that you're searching for, you can use that option. You can also just scroll through. This isn't a super long article, so you could just read that fairly quickly. At the bottom, you'll see a link to the citation right here. You can send it to your Noodle tools. I'll do that in a minute. And then I also like to point out over here, there are more articles like this. So it's saying, hey, if this one's good or you want a little bit more, go to these other articles that are featured on that sidebar. And so I like to take a look at that, and then you can always go to view all related articles. So those will be some of the ones you saw on the first page or some additional ones that they have found that are related. So might find something good there. It's just a good thing to be aware of. So if I decide I like this article, I'm going to use it, or I might use it, I should definitely get the citation. So you can click on this cite button. It's going to take you to that MLA format citation. You can export it to Noodle Tools, or you can just copy and paste it into a document. So depending on your assignment, there might be different requirements. So I'm going to export it to my Noodle Tools because I can always go back to that later. You can see here, it's going to show me the record. And then this is the project I'm working on. I have my Noodle Tools open up here on my tab. You can see that. And it has the project that I'm working on currently. So I'm just going to click on import. And then when it's done, it'll give me that little green box, and I can go to my sources here, hit the refresh button, and then it's going to show me that my article that I found in this database is in my list. And then I can always copy and paste this if I need to, or I can export it to a Google Doc, and then it will create my works cited page for me with all of my sources in it. So just be aware of that. So this is a good spot to start searching to get some information if you're just getting started and looking for good biographical and maybe more.